How we doing, guys? Welcome to the player ratings. Manchester United against Arsenal. It's the day after, the afternoon before, should we say. And yeah, listen, there's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of uproar about our performance and everything else. And listen, I just enjoyed the fact that we got 3 points. That's what football's all about, getting 3 points. If you can entertain along the way, then great. But ultimately, it's about 3 points. And it's mad. It's absolutely mad, the reaction. I got in from the game at like 1:30 a.m., the longest drive home. For all of you that are not familiar with the roads in England, there's a road called the M6, which takes you to Manchester. It's brutal. It's horrible. It's just always a problem. But listen, that's what you go to football for, is part and parcel of the journey. And listen, like I was saying, the fallout from this game, and anybody would have thought that we lost the game with the way that some of our fans have reacted. But it's just mad. What do you want us to do? Do you want us to go back to the old days, or, you know, the time when we were playing under Arsene Wenger, where we would go against any of the traditional top 6 sides and we would get absolutely annihilated every single time we played them? But we played pretty football. It was lovely. It was pleasing on the eye. We lost the game, but it was nice. It was good to watch. I don't want to go back to that. Everybody used to sit there and say that we need to get more kahunas. We need to start growing up and becoming tougher and stop being bullied and all the rest of it. And the moment we start doing that, and we're able to do that, and teams can't bully us, and we have grown a pair of kahunas, everybody's moaning. Rival fans, Arsenal fans, everybody's moaning. What do you want? Shut up. It's 3 points. We move on. It's that simple. We can dissect the performance. We can talk about the things that didn't go right and why we played so poorly. But at the end of the day, winning a game in the Premier League away from home against a side that we traditionally struggle against at Old Trafford. Opening day, 3 points, clean sheet, defensive masterclass. I'll take that all day long. And the last thing I will say on this is, in 2017, I'd done an interview after a game at the Emirates. And I said that David De Gea could save the Titanic. You'll remember the game. Arsenal absolutely annihilated Manchester United that day. We had 33 shots on goal, 74% possession. We absolutely destroyed Manchester United. That wasn't like this game where David Raya had to pull off save after save after save to get us the win. Okay? It was just simply, we were the better side on that day. We couldn't get past De Gea, but we lost the game 3-1. Do you want to go back to that? Do you think that Manchester United fans on that day cared that we absolutely annihilated them? Or do you think that they cared about them getting the win and everything else? Yeah, I don't want to go back to them days. Thank you very much. So yeah, like I said, it was a defensive masterclass. And the reality is this. David Raya didn't have loads of saves to make. There were a couple of decent moments for Manchester United. But in general, a lot of their efforts were quite speculative from distance, and they were very comfortable saves for David Raya. Very comfortable. So yeah, here's what it is. 3 points in the bag. Set piece again. Ole, ole. Cry to someone else because I really don't care. But yeah, let's go and get into the player ratings. Starting off in goal, David Raya. I'm only going to give him a 7. Okay. And listen, I know he kept a clean sheet and everything else, right? But like I was trying to explain to everybody, he didn't have a lot to do. Let's make this clear. In comparison to that game in 2017, where I was alluding to, where David De Gea had an unbelievable game, David Raya didn't need to do that. A lot of the shots on target were just routine saves. You know, there was no real big moments where you're like, oh my word, it's over and over, onslaught. And he's literally pulling off world-class saves left, right, and centre. It was a relatively comfortable afternoon for him. He dealt with what he had to deal with. You know, Manchester United will be complaining about the goal and the pressure on their keeper. Man United tried the exact same thing on David Raya. But he literally just moved everybody out the way, punched the ball clear, and we move on. Get a better goalkeeper. Stop moaning. Going into the defence, first of all, Ben White, I'll give him a 7. I do think defensive-wise, Jurriën Timber is better. I think that he's a lot more solid and we're a lot less likely to get caught with transition than Ben White. But it's such a great problem to have, one or the other. But I feel that Jurriën Timber's slowly being eased back in now. But yeah, Ben White, it was a solid enough performance. I thought he'd done well at times. And I'll give him a 7. Going into the centre-back positions, first of all, William Saliba, rock solid. It's that simple. He gets an 8, and he was just his usual self. Everything was calm. Everything was composed. Everything was just William Saliba. Moving next to him, we have Gabriel, an absolute man mountain. He is so good. So good. And he gets an 8 as well from me because he was just an absolute rock at the back. And it's as simple as that, really. Moving to the left-back position, Calafiori, I'm going to give him a 7. I thought he had a decent enough performance, tired towards the end, got the goal. I think it was going in anyway, to be honest, and it literally was headed in on the line. Even I could have scored that. But yeah, there were a couple of moments in the first half where he kind of gets caught in that transition, and that worries me. But overall, it was a solid enough performance, so that's why I give him the mark that I do. In the midfield, first of all, Zubimendi. I've watched the game back, and his performance wasn't as bad as some people will make out. Press resistant. The way he turns over that ball and keeps it moving and everything else. I don't think that performance was anywhere near as bad as some people will suggest. He was the best of our midfield, I would say. And I'll give him a 7. Next to him, Declan Rice. I think this was a poor performance from him. Very unlike him. Even got substituted in the second half, which at the time kind of left me scratching my head, but I get it. Works hard, runs himself into the ground, but just not that usual Declan Rice performance. So I'll give him a 6. Martin Odegaard, listen, his work rate is exceptional, but he is a number 10, let's say. He's got to create. Now, there were moments in both halves where we should have absolutely annihilated Manchester United when we broke through the gaps and Odegaard was in acres of space to pick a right or left pass and open them up and put us through. His passing let us down. And I feel that, you know, let's use this as a comparison, but a Kevin De Bruyne, for example, and you think of somebody that, you know, opens teams up at will. If he was given the amount of space that Odegaard had, he would have either made the goalkeeper do something or he would have put somebody through to score a goal. You know, and that's my only concern. So the work rate is great and everything, but he's predominantly a 10. You need to create. So he gets a 6. First of all, on the right-hand side, Bukayo Saka, very, very quiet game by his standards. Was very difficult for him. Didn't get the ball a lot, and when he did, he didn't do much. Work rate, can't, question that. But overall, wasn't great. He gets a 5. On the other side, Martinelli, again, it's just another poor performance. And I think it was summed up by an attempted bicycle kick where he completely missed everything. It was terrible. I'm giving him a 5 as well. That was just poor. Gyökeres, I feel sorry for him in a sense that the service was just non-existent. Every time the ball went up to him, he went into battles with the likes of De Ligt. De Ligt even tried to do some bully tactic on him at one point and shoulder barge him. And De Ligt was eating grass for about 7 yards. So there's no questioning Gyökeres' physicality and the power and everything, but he needs to feed on, opportunities. And there were moments, Odegaard, like I was alluding to, there's moments you need to play him in. Need to, and we've got to get that understanding right. And I understand that it's new, it's working out strengths and weaknesses and whatever, but I don't know what you want him to do when that's what he's being supplied with. It's not going to happen, is it? So in terms of the substitutes, I would say Madueke and Havertz were on the longest to give them a mark, but I don't think they had an overall impact. Madueke, people talk about the chance right at the end and, did he sort his feet out and miss? And the Manchester United player that was covering, I think it was Bruno Fernandes, actually. I can't remember, but he actually got a touch on the ball before it hit Madueke, and that's why he wasn't able to finish it. If he doesn't get that touch on the ball, then Madueke has a clear opportunity and he finishes it. So I see that in real time from where I was behind the goal, and you see it. And yeah, at the end of the day, it was one of those. But I'll probably give him and Havertz a 5. Timber, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Moreno, not really on long enough, but it's nice that we can bring on the likes of Jury and Timber. There was a couple of good moments from him, getting himself out of trouble. Miles Lewis-Skelly getting caught on the halfway line when we weirdly decided to take a corner and go all the way back to the halfway line. But yeah, listen, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It was, I'm not going to mark them. Managers rating, Mikel Arteta, at the end of the day, he's coached the side to go to Manchester United, get a win. I'd say a 7. I think the substitutes were decent. Did what we had to do to shut the game out right at the end. And I'm talking about the Timber and Miles Lewis-Skelly one. So yeah, it's pretty, straightforward. And in terms of the fans, 10. I was in and amongst it. Lovely to be back at away games. And at the end of the day, the fans, always push the team on. The fans are always singing and it's good atmosphere. So yeah, overall, 1-0 to the Arsenal. Decent afternoon's work in beautiful sunshine. But listen, there we go. That is it for the player ratings. As usual, let me know in the comment section whether you agree or disagree, what you thought about the players' ratings, etc., etc. And yeah, there we go. If you're new around here, do make sure you hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.